because I know I was having a heart attack. Didn't realize that what they were doing was in placing a stent. Didn't know that was actually happening. It seemed like they were just relieving whatever that thick piece of bread was in my chest. That's what it felt like. Um, but when talking to the doctor in ICU, we're asking, listen, if we did go to the different hospital, how would it have been? It turned out, and he was very direct and blunt. It was like death. I was like, could have been, but seriously, what would have happened? And he's like, no, like you wouldn't have made it there. And at that point, that's when it was confusion. How did you receive it when he said death?
I mean, I felt really, really grateful. Like I said, all of the events aligned where it felt timely. Like we got to where we needed to be when we needed to be there with the people and the staff that we needed to be with.
Hmm.
Um, and that was just amazing to me. I felt blessed and grateful that you were still there with me. You know,
Hmm.
the magnitude of what had just happened was starting to settle in at that point when the doctor said, yes, he'd have been dead. The type of heart attack that he had is called the widowmaker. And that would have been me. I would have been a widow. And that's just crazy and mind blowing all at the same time, you know. But I always have to inject a little bit of levity. When Lester got back to the ICU room, he was fully alert and everything. And I just needed him to know and take it with him and carry it with him every day that I saved his life. Without me, he he had another chance to do it and do it right.
The thing about it, I was so stressed out until I couldn't feel what was going on. But all of a sudden, I had problems in breathing, uh, tingling, and I went to the hospital and they told me I had a heart attack. Now, it didn't seem as though I had a heart attack, but it was what's happening in the inside, you know? And that's what caused me to get a stent in there.
And so I think one of the things that this has really helped is not only medically has this helped both of us become more educated, but also has brought up additional conversations in light that we probably wouldn't have had before. So I feel like it opened up more communication between us.
Yes.
To where things weren't so taboo or so sensitive, where it's like, I ain't gonna talk about that with my son. But we are talking about it now.
Yes.
And I think, again, having those hard conversations about health, finances, and death. I know, especially your generation or the parents, do not want to talk about death or planning for the death that it's inevitable. It's going to happen. But I think now we can have those conversations without the fear,
Right.
or making it so, cringe-worthy where you don't want to talk about it because you're uncomfortable. But either you or I talk about it, or some coroner or some doctor's going to talk about it.
That's
with us,
right. That's right.